Imagine if growing old wasn't the end of your story. What if, instead of dying, your body could suddenly become young again, starting life all over from the very beginning? It sounds like science fiction, but hidden beneath the ocean's surface lives a tiny creature that appears to do exactly that. Meet the immortal jellyfish, a species so extraordinary that scientists have spent decades trying to understand its incredible secret. Unlike almost every other animal on Earth, this jellyfish has the astonishing ability to reverse its own life cycle. Instead of moving toward death as it ages, it can transform itself back into its earliest stage of life and begin growing all over again. At first, this discovery seemed impossible. After all, every living creature follows the same path: birth, growth, reproduction, and eventually death. That's the natural order of life. But this tiny jellyfish doesn't always follow those rules. Does that really make it immortal? Can it truly live forever? Or has the internet turned one of nature's most fascinating creatures into one of its biggest myths? In today's documentary, we'll uncover the real science behind the immortal jellyfish, discover how it cheats aging, explore the dangers it still faces in the wild, and reveal why researchers believe this tiny animal could one day help unlock the secrets of human aging itself. By the end of this journey, you'll understand why one of the smallest creatures in the ocean has become one of the biggest mysteries in modern biology. Let's dive beneath the waves and discover the animal that seems to escape death itself. Before we uncover its incredible ability, let's first meet this extraordinary creature. The animal scientists call the immortal jellyfish is officially known as Turritopsis dohrnii. Despite its legendary reputation, it isn't a giant sea monster or a glowing deep-sea giant. In fact, it's incredibly small. A fully grown immortal jellyfish measures only about 4 to 5 millimeters across its bell, really the size of your little fingernail. Its transparent body makes it almost invisible in the water, while dozens of delicate tentacles drift behind it as ocean currents carry it through the sea. This remarkable species is believed to have originated in the Mediterranean Sea, but today it has spread far beyond its original home. Scientists have recorded it in the Atlantic, Pacific, and other oceans around the world. One reason for its global spread is that tiny jellyfish and their larvae can accidentally travel across the oceans in the ballast water of large cargo ships. Like most jellyfish, the immortal jellyfish spends much of its life floating with the currents. It feeds on microscopic plankton, tiny fish eggs, and even smaller marine organisms. Although it has tentacles equipped with stinging cells to capture prey, it poses virtually no danger to humans. At first glance, there's nothing that makes this tiny animal look unusual. It appears to live the same simple life as countless other jellyfish drifting through the sea. But hidden inside its transparent body is an ability unlike almost anything else in the animal kingdom. And that extraordinary ability begins to appear only when the jellyfish is injured, stressed, starving, or nearing the end of its life. Instead of dying, it does something scientists once believed was impossible. Every living animal follows a one-way journey through life. It is born, it grows, it reproduces, and eventually it dies. But the immortal jellyfish can break that cycle. When this tiny creature is seriously injured, starved, attacked by predators, or exposed to extreme environmental stress, it doesn't simply wait for death. Instead, it activates one of the most extraordinary survival mechanisms ever discovered in nature. Its body begins to collapse inward, the tentacles shrink and disappear. The bell slowly folds into itself, and within hours, the jellyfish transforms into a small, blob-like structure. But this isn't the end. It's the beginning of a completely new life. The blob sinks to the ocean floor and attaches itself to a hard surface, where it transforms into a tiny colony called a polyp, the earliest stage of a jellyfish's life. From this single polyp, brand new jellyfish begin to grow, just as they did when the animal was first born. In other words, an adult jellyfish has successfully returned to childhood. Scientists call this incredible process transdifferentiation. During this transformation, mature cells don't die. Instead, they change into completely different types of cells, rebuilding the body from the inside out. Imagine if a fully grown butterfly could suddenly turn back into a caterpillar and start its entire life over again. That's essentially what this jellyfish can do. This remarkable ability is almost unheard of in the animal kingdom, and it's the reason Turritopsis dohrnii earned its famous nickname, the immortal jellyfish. But before you imagine an animal that can never die, there's an important truth many people misunderstand. Its greatest secret is also its biggest limitation. By now you might be wondering, if this jellyfish can become young again, does that mean it can truly live forever? The answer is more complicated than you might think. Despite its famous nickname, the immortal jellyfish is not impossible to kill. It can still be eaten by predators such as fish, sea turtles, larger jellyfish, and even some species of sea slugs. Like countless other tiny marine animals, it can also die from disease, pollution, starvation, or sudden changes in its environment. Its extraordinary ability only works if it survives long enough to begin the transformation. If a predator swallows it whole or destroys its body completely, there is no second chance. So, the jellyfish isn't immortal in the way most people imagine. Instead, scientists describe it as biologically immortal. This means it doesn't appear to have a natural limit caused by aging itself. Under the right conditions, it can repeatedly reset its life cycle instead of growing permanently older. That's an incredibly rare ability. In fact, no other known animal has demonstrated this exact type of complete life cycle reversal in the same way. This is why the immortal jellyfish has become one of the most fascinating organisms ever studied by marine biologists. It challenges one of nature's oldest rules, that every animal must move in only one direction through life. But perhaps the most exciting part of this story isn't the jellyfish itself. It's what scientists believe this tiny creature could teach us. Could understanding its cells one day help humans fight aging, repair damaged tissues, or unlock new medical breakthroughs? That question has inspired researchers around the world, and the search for answers is only just beginning. For decades, the immortal jellyfish has fascinated scientists around the world. Not because they believe humans can become immortal, but because this tiny creature may hold important clues about how living cells repair and renew themselves. Every time the jellyfish resets its life cycle, its cells undergo an extraordinary transformation. Instead of continuing to age, many of its mature cells are able to change into completely different types of cells, rebuilding the body from the inside out. Understanding how this process works could one day help researchers answer some of biology's biggest questions. Why do living cells age? Can damaged tissues be repaired more effectively? Could certain diseases linked to aging be better understood in the future? These questions have made the immortal jellyfish one of the most closely studied marine animals in modern biology. However, scientists are careful not to exaggerate its abilities. There is currently no evidence that humans could copy this process or become immortal. Human bodies are far more complex, and our cells behave very differently from those of a tiny jellyfish. Even so, every new discovery helps researchers better understand regeneration, cell development, and the biology of aging. It's remarkable that one of the world's smallest sea creatures could contribute to research that may improve medicine in the future. But perhaps the greatest lesson isn't about living forever. It's about how evolution can create solutions so extraordinary that they completely change the way we think about life itself. And the immortal jellyfish is a perfect reminder that nature still holds secrets we have only just begun to uncover. The immortal jellyfish may never become the key to eternal life, but it has already changed the way scientists think about aging and survival. For centuries, humans believed that every living creature had only one path through life, from birth to death. Yet this tiny jellyfish revealed that nature can sometimes rewrite its own rules in ways we never imagined. Hidden beneath the waves, no larger than your little fingernail, it carries one of the most extraordinary biological abilities ever discovered. It reminds us that the greatest mysteries aren't always found in the largest or most powerful animals. Sometimes they exist inside the smallest creatures that most people never even notice. The oceans still cover more than 70% of our planet, and much of that vast underwater world remains unexplored. Every year, scientists continue discovering new species, strange behaviors, and remarkable adaptations that challenge what we thought we knew about life on Earth. The immortal jellyfish is just one example of how much there is still left to discover. Its story isn't really about living forever. It's about evolution, survival, and nature's incredible ability to solve impossible problems over millions of years. And perhaps that's the most fascinating lesson of all. Somewhere in the silent depths of the ocean, this tiny transparent creature continues drifting through the currents, carrying a biological secret that scientists are still trying to fully understand. Who knows what other extraordinary creatures are waiting to be discovered beneath the waves? If you enjoyed this documentary and want to explore more incredible ocean mysteries, make sure to subscribe to Deep Ocean Explorer, because the next secret hidden beneath the waves might be even more unbelievable than this one.